Hello everyone, my name is Anurag Roy and today in this video I will talk about general explanations provided in Indian Penal Code under Chapter 2. But before we deal with Chapter 2, there are two other videos that I have made on Indian Penal Code Basics and Indian Penal Code Intra and Extraterritorial Jurisdiction. For those who have not seen that videos, the link is provided in the description. For those who want to face stage for speaking, other videos related to stage fear and presentation skills and how to make content, how to give presentations are also provided under the description. The links are provided under the description. Don't forget to subscribe this channel for related videos in near future. We will talk about Chapter 2, General Explanations. First of all, Section 6. It basically generally tells us that every expression which is defined in this chapter, that is Chapter 2, is subjected to the general exceptions in detail, that if any child who commits an offense which is under the age of 7 years will not be considered as an offense, because the general exceptions according to 82 tells us that child under the age of 7 years commits no offense. Section 7 generally talks about the expressions that once explained have the same meaning in every part of this code. Section 8 generally talks about he and its derivative, that we have seen a lot of time in every other provisions. The words he and its derivative also includes male and female in it. Section 9 talks about numbers. The singular number include the plural numbers, and the word importing plural numbers include the singular as well. But unless the contrary appears from the context, means if different language is appeared from the context, this provision can be set aside. Section 10 talks about man and woman. It means man includes the male human being of any age, and woman includes the female human being of any age. Section 11 talks about person. It considers as company, association and body of person. Both these three things are included as person. Even though company has not its own entity or brain, but it still can be legally liable for any punishment through its agent or manager. Section 12 talks about public. It generally tells us that any class or community includes public. Public includes any class and community. Section 13 talks about queen, but it is omitted. 14 talks about servants of government. It is a quite wide definition. It includes any officer or servants who is continued appointed in India under the authority of government. It is quite wide definition as compared to definition under Section 21 that talks about public servants. We will talk about it later. Section 15 and 16 are omitted one. 17 talks about government, that is central and state government. 18 talks about India, that is territory of India excluding the state of Jammu and Kashmir. 19 talks about judge, and quite important, as judge includes three persons: the judge itself, who is officially designating as a judge, or any person who is empowered by law to give any judgment, whose judgment is definitive, or if no appeal can be filed against that judgment, it will become definitive, and if it confirmed by any other authority, it will be definitive. In simple language, any person whose judgment can be definitive is a judge. The one of the body of persons who is empowered by law to give judgment. So these are some illustrations which tell us that collector is a judge, magistrate is a judge, member of the panchayat is also judge, but magistrate just exercising jurisdiction in charge of which he has power only to commit for a trial. That means a judge has only the power to commit a person to the trial of another court, is not a judge, because he is just what he is doing, he is just committing for a trial in another court, he is not itself deciding it. Section 20 talks about court of justice. It includes two persons, the judge itself and the body of judge who is judicially adjudicating the matter. 21 section is quite long and important as well. It talks about public servant. It has 12 categories. Any person who falls under this category will be considered as public servant. So first category is omitted. The second category talks about commissioned officer of military, air force or naval officer. The third category talks about any person who by law discharging any adjudicatory function. The fourth category talks about the officer of court who investigate or report or authenticate any document or execute any judicial process or administer any oath and other matters. The fifth category includes the members of panchayat, jury members or assessor, assisting court or public servant. Basically, the person who is assisting the court of justice or public servant and a member of panchayat, assessor or jury member will be considered as public servant. Any matter is referred to arbitration or any other person for its decision or report will also consider as public servant. The seventh category talks about a person who hold any office and due to that office he has power to confine the person. Category 8 talks about any person whose duty is to prevent the offense, give information of any offense. Category 9 talks about basically the agents of government who does the thing on behalf of the government. You will see on behalf of the government many times here, on behalf of the government. Category 7 talks about every officer whose duty is to expend any property, make survey, levy tax and for the secular common purpose of district, town and village. Category 11 talks about any person who hold, publish, prepare, maintain any electoral roll or part of election, basically and the officer of election commission. Category 12 talks about any person who's in the service or pay of government or by commission for performing any public duty, and the another one is in the service of any local authority. So section 22 talks about movable property. It basically says that it includes corporeal properties but does not include any land or thing attached to land or permanently fastened. Here the word permanently fastened means anything which is permanently fixed to any other thing or matter which is attached to land. like fan of the ceiling or window. These things are attached to your house, which is attached to the earth. That means permanently fastened to anything which is attached to earth. It is not movable. (23) talks about wrongful gain. It generally says that any person who due to unlawful means gain anything which is not legally entitled, or lose anything which he was legally entitled, it will consider as wrongful gain and wrongful loss. Section 24 talks about dishonestly. It means that any person with intent to cause any wrongful gain or wrongful loss to any person, it will be considered as dishonestly. Section 25 talks about fraudulently. If any person does anything with intent to defraud any other person, that will be considered as doing of that thing is fraudulently. Section 26 is reason to believe. A person is said to be a person who has the reason to believe if he has sufficient cause to believe. Here the word sufficient cause is quite most important in this section. So here we are discussed in detail section 6 to section 26. The next sections we will cover in the next video that I will upload as early as I can, and the link of that video will be provided under the description. So don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Be connected for the future videos as well. If you want to ask any question or you want any other law to be discussed in detail, don't forget to comment and tell me about that law that you want to learn. I will upload the video related to that as early as I can do. If you found anything useful in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video to your friends so that more and more person can be connected and be together to learn the law and speaking skills with me. Till then, goodbye.